Good morning, everyone. Welcome again to my channel. This is Trev from Trevessence. And this morning, I want to say a very special welcome. I noticed that there are some new viewers, there are some new subscribers, new individuals that I'd never seen before. And I want to say a very special welcome to you all. And as always, to all my returning travelers, I want to say thank you for your continued support on my channel. Now, yesterday we read Leviticus chapter 14, and in that reading, we noticed that there was a lot being spoken of about the leprosy. The priest had to diagnose an individual with leprosy by looking at the spots on their body, how advanced the spots were, where on the body the spots were, and whether or not it was time to just remove the bricks from the house or it was time to break the house completely down and rebuild if the leprosy could not be contained. And now we're going to move on to chapter 15. I tell you, my friends, the book called the Bible, the most influential book in the world, it is very, very fascinating. And I suggest that everybody reads this book for themselves, because everything in it, everything we do is influenced by something that is said in the Bible. Every law, you can trace the laws way back. You will see that there's some influence from the Bible. The most recent one that we spoke about last night on Red Flag Review, Roe v. Wade, the abortion being made illegal. Yes, all of that is Bible-based. And because the Bible has so much influence on our lives, I believe that everybody has a prerogative to at least read it, at least once in your life, and make yourself familiar with the things that are in it, rather than sit down and let somebody tell you what is in it. Good morning, Kat. How are you doing? Now we're going to read chapter 15. And before I forget, guys, don't forget that tomorrow, Thursday at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m., we are going to have Swords in Hand / Bible Trivia. And it is going to be based off of Leviticus chapters 13, 14, and 15. Okay? And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanliness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanliness. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Ryan, I have your premiere set for notification for, I think you have it for 7:30. Okay, I will see you there, my friend. All right, let's continue. Every bed whereon he lieth, that hath the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. Guys, you know that in long ago, I was told that the Bible says a woman who is having her period is unclean. I said I was told that a woman who is having her period is unclean, and wherever she sits and wherever she sleeps, that the Bible said that. I haven't read that yet in the Bible, except when we spoke about the woman after giving birth. But here it is talking about a man. If he's having issue, what issue is a man having? Are they using the word man to refer to both man and woman? Or are they using it to refer to a woman? I am not sure. And as I said before many times, that the Bible is poorly understood, but everybody thinks they understand it. And sometimes even the greatest theologians cannot explain what the Bible says, let alone ordinary people like you and I, who have not gone to theology school to study the Bible intensely. We are just studying it from a layman's point of view and trying to understand it as we do as people. So we're going to continue reading, and hopefully later on we will get an understanding as to what this really means. Because I don't know what issue they're talking about a man having. Does it mean if the man is having diarrhea? I'm not sure. But we're going to continue reading, and maybe we can find the answer. Verse 7. And he that toucheth the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. What do they mean by spit upon him? Are we spitting on people? You see what I say, guys, that some of the writings in the Bible is a little bit weird, because here it's talking about spitting on somebody as though that is the norm, to just spit on somebody. But we are going to continue. I don't know if you're talking to somebody and the spittle comes out and touches them, if that's what they're talking about. I don't know, but I don't think it can be a deliberate act of spitting on somebody. But verse 9 says, and what saddle soever he rideth upon that hath the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And whomsoever he toucheth that hath the issue and hath not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth, which at the issue shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that hath an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, and one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all of his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. Now we're talking, guys. Now we're talking. That means if a guy has wet dreams, his seed of copulation is sperm. That's his seed of copulation. So if that goes out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. So if you have wet dreams, you are unclean. Okay. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the evening. The woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening. So that means, guys, after you have had adult relations with each other, then you are unclean. So you shall go bathe yourself. It's the Bible who said it, guys, not me. Don't say Trev said it. It's not me. The Bible here in Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 18 says, the woman also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the evening. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue is in her, in her flesh be blood. Okay, now they're talking about the period. She shall be put apart 7 days. Okay. So now the woman is having her period. She is supposed to be put apart from everybody else for 7 days. She shall be isolated for 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. So here for the first time, the women and the men are getting the same treatment. So the women, if they're on their period, they're supposed to be unclean for 7 days. But I'm not sure what issue the men are having, because men don't have periods or anything looking like period. So I am not sure what that part is saying. But we'll continue on to Leviticus chapter Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 20. And everything that she light upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the evening. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. So there it is. If any man lieth with a woman who is on her period, he is unclean for 7 days. He is unclean. Because remember, the woman is considered to be unclean for 7 days while she's on her period. Now, if any man lieth with her, then he's unclean for 7 days. The Bible said it, Winsome, not me. How are you doing, sugar? And if a man have an issue of her blood many days out of a time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she lieth upon shall be unclean, as the uncleanliness of her separation. And whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean, and shall wash their clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number of herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtles. Now it says turtles again, and not turtle doves. She shall take unto her 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before the Lord for the issue of her uncleanliness. Thus shall he separate the children of Israel from their uncleanliness, that they die not in their uncleanliness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue, of the man, and of the woman, and of him that lieth with her that is unclean. Guys, the Bible gets more and more interesting with every single chapter. Here in Leviticus chapter 15, we are being told when and how a woman or a man is unclean, and for how many days they should be considered unclean, and what they should do for an atonement after their days of uncleanness are over. Right here, I found something quite interesting, where again, the Bible says the woman should bring a turtle as a sacrifice for her atonement. I'm still going to say that that is an error, where it should say turtle doves rather than turtle. We saw it in a previous chapter where it says turtles, and we saw in previous chapters where it kept saying turtle doves. So I am going to stick with turtle doves right now, because remember, the Bible has been translated and printed, reprinted, and printed over so many times that an error is not far-fetched. So we are going to stick with it, saying turtle dove. So she should bring a turtle dove and young pigeons for her atonement after her period is over. So right there, guys, a woman has her period 12 months of the year. I think back then it was 13 months. But for argument's sake, we're going to say 12 months of the year. A woman has her period. And each time, this woman is expected to bring a sacrifice for her atonement because she has had her period. A period which is something that nature allows her to have in order to continue with procreation. Yet, according to the Bible, she is considered unclean because of the same period that she is given naturally as a precursor for pregnancy and to have babies to replenish the earth. Yet she's considered unclean. Don't you find that strange? I find that to be absolutely strange that the Bible would say that. Also, the men, it says the men have an issue. He calls it his seed of copulation, which means his sperm. If the guy say have wet dreams, wets up on himself, if the guy has slept with a woman, if the two of you go together, have adult relations, then you are considered unclean. I didn't say guys, Leviticus said it. You are considered unclean. So you should go wash yourselves after that event. I tell you, let me tell you something, Kad. I don't know how that would work today. If every woman was supposed to bring a sacrifice to the priest after her period, that's 12 times a year, every woman, there would be neither turtles nor turtle doves, nothing left on the land. These things could not be sustained. And so this brings me to the point that everybody, every religion has chosen what they have adopted from this same Bible and what they have forsaken. But it's the same Bible. So now you understand, guys, that it is so wrong for any of us to tell anybody of any other faith that they are wrong, that their faith is wrong. I grew up in a particular denomination where it is a constant reminder. They tell you repeatedly, it is drilled in your head that this religion, this denomination is the chosen denomination, and this denomination is the right denomination, and everybody else is wrong. And now that I am grown and I'm able to read and understand for myself, we can't say any religion, any particular denomination or religion is wrong. Because I always wonder, how can they all, again, anybody be wrong when everybody's using the same book? Does that even make sense to you all, guys? Have you ever thought about that? I have. I have thought about it several times. Like, every church, no matter what denomination they belong to, every church uses the same Bible. Yet, everybody says everybody else is wrong and they are right. Well, if you ask me, nobody is wrong and nobody is right, because everybody is picking and choosing what they want to use in their denomination. Because these things in the Bible cannot be sustained, could not be sustained. And if you're going to say some things in the Leviticus were unsustainable, and so we have discarded them, we no longer are going to use those things, then what makes some things suitable to be abandoned, while others you find to be suitable to carry on? For example, in the other chapter we read before this, we were talking about in the foods that we should eat. And I know some denominations, I keep saying religion, and we have to understand there's a difference between religion and denomination. Christianity is a religion, but there are so many denominations under the umbrella of Christianity. That's why I'm trying to be as specific as I can where that is concerned. Amazing M&G, my sister, is here. Welcome, my love. How are you doing? Amazing says, good morning to everyone just joining. Thank you so much, my love. Don't forget to hit the like button. Card says, you can work for 7 days a week each month. You can't ride the bus. You can sit in a seat at work. There you go, Card. That is what I was going to talk about. Imagine a woman having her period in today's society. You can't ride the bus. You can't sit on a bench. They already established you can't go to church, period. Any bed you sleep on is defiled. Any chair you sit on is defiled. If you, in the olden days, if you rode a donkey, all the material, you know, they have to pad the donkey so the donkey's backbone don't rape you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So all that cloth that you sit on, the donkey's saddle, is considered unclean. Every bed you sleep on, every chair you sit on, everything is unclean. We couldn't sustain that in today's society, where everything is unclean. Everything got to be washed. Can you imagine you at work and there are say 10 women, and it is not far-fetched to think that at least 5 of those women are going to be having their period at one time. Imagine that they're all having their period. Every chair is unclean. Everything is unclean, according to the Leviticus. So when we see one denomination pick what is supposed to be and what is not supposed to be in society, we see the hypocrisy. We see the hypocrisy. And that is why I've steered clear of any religious discussion in which people are trying to be oligocentric and say, you know, their religion, their denomination is superior to any other. I know for myself, according to what the good book says, that none is superior to the other. They all use the same book, yet they choose what they will abide by in the book. Some religions eat pork, some denominations eat pork, some denominations don't. In the good book, it says you shouldn't eat it. Some denominations don't have a problem with people eating rats and rabbits and those kinds of things. But in the good book, it says don't eat it. Yet those same people in those denominations will tell you, yeah, my denomination is right, because XYZ, XYZ, according to the Bible. My question, therefore, is why are we excluding some things but adopting others? That's a question, my friends, that I don't think will ever be answered. It will not be answered. I know some people try to answer that question with the New Testament and say, you know, the New Testament is supposed to be the replacement for the Old Testament. But when we get over into the New Testament, we will see whether or not there is anything over there that was law in the Old Testament, so that we can see if we have reference for laws that were used in both times. We are going to get there. We have several more books to go. We have just started, if you know what I mean, because we're just at Leviticus. And Leviticus is the third book of the Bible. So we got a long way to go. But as my grandmother used to say, the longest journey begins with the first step. So we are on our way. And as long as we don't stop and we don't turn back, we will get there. Amazing says, Lord have mercy. Thanks so much for reminding. Oh my gosh, you are the best. You are the best, amazing MNG. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, my dear. I sincerely appreciate it. So now, guys, we know. All right, we're not going to be staying here much longer on this one, because I want the people who are not in the live today to be able to come in and listen to this verse, this chapter 15 of the Leviticus, so that they can all be prepared for Swords in Hand / Bible Trivia tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Do not forget, my friends, at 4 o'clock, we will not be doing chapter 16, because that would mean that we would have quite a bit to cover in the hour and a half that we will be doing Swords in Hand tomorrow. Okay, so that is going to be it from us, for me, for right now, my friends. That's going to be it from me. So until next time when we meet, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey does matter. I will see you all again, guys, tomorrow at 4 o'clock. All right, have a fantastic day, my friends. Thank you all so much for coming. See you later. Another thing, guys, before I go, all right, Amazing said, in times gone by, if a woman is having her period, she's not allowed to attend church. Yes, that we read in a previous chapter. She can't go to church. She can't take part in anything. She is unclean. She stays home. Anything she touches is unclean. Anywhere she sits, anywhere she lies, everything is unclean. Everything is unclean for the woman. It's not today that women are getting a fight. I'm surprised that in chapter 15 of the Leviticus here, they were talking about the men. If a man has a wet dream, if a man's sperm touches him, he has somehow maybe a premature ejaculation or whatever, he is considered unclean. He is considered unclean. So I didn't even know that the Bible said that. I always hear about the woman. But now we know, guys. I don't know if it is every church do the same. But how the church supposed to know? Guys, I know I said goodbye. But how the church is supposed to know a woman is having her period? Why would the pastor need to know that? That's a woman's private business. So she can go about and should be allowed to go about her day, whether or not she's having her period. It's not the church's business. But I understand that in days gone by, those people used to follow the laws of Moses to the T. Whatever it was that Moses said the Lord told him, those people would follow like sheeples. They just followed everything that Moses said the Lord told him. So, of course, their conscience would tell them, do not go to church because you're having your period. Do not go into the tabernacle because you're having your period. Maybe sleep on the floor, because if you sleep on the bed is going to be unclean. If you sit on the chair, it's going to be unclean. So sit on the floor. You have your particular dirty spot where you need to sit. You have your particular dirty spot in the house where you are supposed to sleep. Some people still do it, like some Rasta man, them wife have to go in different bed. Winsome, it's a good thing you said that. It's a good thing you said that. Because, yes, some people still practice it. Some religions still practice it in their home. The woman, when she's on her period, she can't sleep with her husband. He don't touch her. She has to sleep in a different bed because she's considered to be unclean. Yes, I know some modern day religions still practice that. It is so unfair, you know. When does a woman get the opportunity? When does a woman have the right to just be a woman and be accepted for everything that happens to her as a woman? Everything women need, we have to fight for it because men want to control everything and tell us women what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And if we don't do what they think we should do, then they have consequences for us. Ain't that something? Even over our own bodies, even our own bodies, we can't even have peace over our own bodies. We can't have choice. We can't have control. Sister Monica said, grace and peace be unto the house. There we go. Good morning, Sister Monica. How are you doing, my love? How are you doing? Just got up for a break and realized you are on. Yes, sweetheart. I was just here doing the Bible study for today. We are here on Leviticus chapter 15. We just finished that, and I was getting off, and then they reeled me back in. Just they reeled me back in. The amazing M&G, miss you, my dear. Okay, so they reeled me back in, Sister Monica, with this issue here about women being unclean when they're on their period. Well, going back to later on. Okay, sugar, women under pressure, but we're strong. It's exactly Winsome. Women have been under pressure since the beginning of time. Ain't that something? We have been under pressure since the beginning of time, and we continue to be under pressure. Thanks to the men who we love, thanks to the men who are supposed to be the protectors of us. They are taking the word protection to a whole nother level. But that's going to be it. That's going to be it from me this morning, my friends. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day as I try to do mine. We will talk again tomorrow. Bye, guys. Go have a great day, my friends. Have a good one, Sister Monica. Sister Winsome, you have a great day. Winsome, you still haven't texted me because we need to talk. Okay, I need to get you your credit. All right. Have a good day, my friends.